Hey, morning, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today, I'm going to be meeting two people who I think should be Mayor of London, because Sadiq Khan should not be Mayor of London. He's an atrocious mayor.
It's part and parcel of living in a great global city.
Oh, I hate that dude right there.
But bear with me, two people that I think deserve to be Mayor of London. First one we're meeting today, Mr. Laurence Fox, and his battle bus is just over there. So how did all this begin? Well, you may have seen my other videos in regards to highlighting the fact that Laurence Fox dared to speak out against political correctness and dared to speak out the fact that he shouldn't be guilty of being white.
I can't help what I am. I was born like this. It's an immutable characteristic. So to call me a white privileged male is to be racist. You're being racist.
You cannot dismiss. Okay.
And he started his own party. He started the Reclaim Party, and he actually decided to run for Mayor of London. Now, don't get me wrong, I think we all know that Sadiq Khan is probably going to win because he has the bloc left vote.
Working class people, that's disgusting.
Posh, plummy, condescending, jumped up, self-entitled, latte-sipping London bubble brats. Is it any wonder you stopped resonating with the working class? You can't be the party of old mining towns and the party of Extinction Rebellion.
Literally a communist.
He also has the Muslim vote, and sadly, they will all vote for Sadiq Khan. However, what he is doing in this election is taking a stand, and he's taking a stand for free speech, and he's taking a stand against cancel culture. And for that, I have to commend him, especially someone that has experienced cancel culture. I salute Laurence Fox for the stand he's going to be taking. For that, he's worthy of anyone's time and attention. So here we are, Parliament Square. We've just been dropped off on the bus and we're going to head over to the old Winston Churchill statue. A scene of many protests over the last 12 months. You may have remembered from my videos where the Black Lives Matter protest desecrated the statue of Winston Churchill. And it's significant in this campaign because it seems the memory of Winston is being silenced, the memory of his goodness. No one's perfect. And we're going to sort of gather around the Winston Churchill statue and get involved. And I better get off. Yep. I'm looking rather dapper today. See the rabid press waiting.
He's not talking.
So as we see Laurence Fox posing, doing the classic sort of Winston Churchill sort of line. Thankfully, no police sort of here to sort of break up the, obviously no social distancing going on. But remember from the previous protests, the fact that the statue was desecrated. And if you watch the videos, you'll see that it's called a racist at the front of the statue. It's a real unfortunate thing, and Laurence is actually standing up against those people, standing up against people that want to desecrate our nation, our great nation, and desecrate the memory of one of England's and the United Kingdom's greatest ever leaders.
Last Monday, the government gave you permission to sit on a bench in a park again and to meet in groups of 6. Are you grateful yet?
No.
Last Monday, the government gave you permission to go outside and play sports with your family and friends again. Are you grateful yet?
No.
If everything goes very well, soon the government will allow you and your friends to sit indoors and have a meal in a cafe or a pub or a restaurant. Are you grateful yet?
No.
And if your papers are in order, either this year or the next, the government will give you permission to travel with your family again, or go to a theatre or a sports stadium. Are you grateful yet?
No.
A year ago, we lent that government our liberty for 3 short weeks to flatten the curve, and now, a year on, they refuse to give back what never belonged to them in the first place. There is no reason we are being kept in lockdown. We have been manipulated, frightened, and outright lied to by this government, who instead of trusting us to get on with our lives, are now flirting with even more authoritarian measures. The very fascistic ideas that Winston Churchill stood against and a generation of Brits fought and died for. They have consistently refused to rule out so-called vaccine passports or freedom passes. Yeah, right. The Nuremberg Code dictates that no citizen can be coerced into a medical intervention. But that is what our fear-mongering government have done relentlessly for the last months. Take the jab, have your freedom back. No, enough is enough. Yes. London has a choice. You can either vote for one of the lockdown candidates, or you can vote for your freedom. This is the Reclaim Party manifesto. London will be a COVID passport-free city. There will be no mask mandates in London. Children will not have to wear masks in schools. London will be fully open, finally and permanently on May the 6th. There will be free transport for 6 months on tubes and buses. A helping hand to get you back to work and play, and a helping hand for the small businesses, cafes and coffee shops, where I hope you invest the money that you have saved. I will scrap the pollution-causing low-traffic neighbourhoods that have cut off neighbourhoods and discriminate against the most vulnerable in society. Any unnecessary cycle lane will be removed. I will build 250,000 houses over 4 years. A full audit of the Greenbelt will take place, with precious landscapes preserved for eternity and unattractive scrubland transformed into beautiful and affordable housing. I will make London safe again. 3,000 new policemen. I will scrap the City Hall cronies to pay for this. I will take the politics out of policing. The police will police streets and not tweets. Petty crime will be dealt with firmly in a New York-style broken windows policing strategy to serve as a reminder to more serious criminals that London will be a very hostile environment for them. Hammersmith Bridge will be reopened to pedestrians and cyclists before the end of the first year, and a full bridge solution implemented by the end of my first of many terms. Every single year there will be a Festival of London, where for one day every year, every theatre ticket is free. We need to get the lifeblood of tourism flowing back into London. And the Union Jack will fly outside every single school and institution in London. Children will be taught about the good that Britain has done in the past as well as the bad. And any institutions which seek to undermine our shared culture by critical social justice or critical race theory will lose their funding entirely in London. Our culture is a reflection of all of us and must be protected with all of our collective energy. London has been under attack before, but this time the enemy is within. It is our duty and our responsibility to safeguard this monument to democracy. It is your freedom. It is your London. Reclaim it. And get me a throat lozenge.
Would anybody like to ask any questions?
You're being sued for calling somebody a paedophile on the internet, or 3 people. How does this equate to your values of free speech?
Being sued for what?
Calling 3 people a paedophile on the internet, reported yesterday.
Oh, I must check my emails. I'm not aware of that.
Then how does that really, this didn't happen, how does it reflect your values of free speech?
People can call me whatever they want.
No, you
I was called a racist by people.
So you called them a paedophile?
Free speech.
That's free speech, in your opinion?
Free speech. You throw a meaningless and baseless insult at someone, you get a meaningless and baseless insult in return.
And that's going to stand up in court?
Well, I'm not in court, am I?
You will be if you're being sued.
Let me check my emails to see if the lawyer's got on to me. I don't think I've got an email from the lawyer. We'll check.
I think this reporter either works for the BBC or a similar organisation to the BBC. She has a real disdain for Laurence Fox. That was very clear with her questioning, and the fact that she raised a issue on free speech. Effectively, many individuals have attacked Laurence Fox in the past and they've called him a racist, a completely unsubstantiated claim. So if someone calls you a racist, and I have to agree with this, if someone called me a racist, I would throw back an unsubstantiated claim at them. For example, you call me a racist, I would call you a paedophile. Obviously, both have no substance to them. Unless, of course, and if you are one, please go kill yourself. There's no place for you on this planet. But here's the point. You should not throw words like racist about willy-nilly and not expect someone to throw a word back at you, labeling you something just as hurtful. Because using the racist word really is a terrible way to debate someone.
London is built on a working class man. Okay, and it's crippling us is the congestion charge. It's getting out to the north and the south circular as well. Full of working people who need to use the streets of London, to the plumbers, the delivery drivers. Will you look into a subsidy for us instead of paying the £30, even if you're going in there for 10, 15, 20 minutes?
London, the congestion charge should not have been expanded. We'll be looking to drag that back to every to the weekdays. And no expansion of the congestion charge zone in London. Londoners have suffered enough.
Thank you.
Yeah. Londoners get 2 votes. Will you be using your second vote, and who on?
Count Binface, obviously. He's going to change London Bridge into Phoebe Waller Bridge. It's an easy vote for me.
Laurence, what's your chance of becoming mayor?
100%.
One more question. Will you protect the black cab status in London?
Yes, the black cabs have been treated appalling by Sadiq Khan. He's not involved in his London transport strategy, and that's an appalling thing to do. They provide a crucial service. And when fathers, daughters go out on a first night out, a black cab should be able to pick them up from where they are, and they should be able to be taken home safely. They're a crucial part of this city and a great character in its story.
Thank you.
Is there anything specific you would do for the homeless community?
Yes. It's a tragic problem, the homelessness in London.
What specifically would you do in a working party? What? Form a working party straight away.
Yeah. You'll see it written down. I've got it written down on our manifesto.
We need somebody to stand up and do something, you know?
Yeah. How long have you been homeless?
Probably 10 years.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards, yeah?
It was obvious Laurence did care for the homeless person, and he did take the time afterwards, not just from this shot, to understand his plight, and also just to see if he could look out for him. I understand he took his phone number, and that was something quite impressive to see. All in all, a great manifesto. Just a shame that too many Londoners are far left or champagne socialists, and they probably will not be voting for Mr. Laurence Fox. However, it's really pleasing to see someone like that standing up and sticking his neck out. So the media scrum has just ended. I got to ask one question. He sadly won't be voting for Brian Rose as his second choice. He'll be voting for Lord Binface, one of the comedy characters that's standing for the London mayor. The media scrum continues. There was one hostile reporter there, and it was clear that was probably Sky News or BBC, I don't know, but she was clearly of the very progressive leftist stance, and I can tell, I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to splice it in here. We already know what her report's going to be like. It will be very hostile and it will be very anti. Laurence Fox's campaign has begun, and he's vying to be Mayor of London. Put an X if you think he's a worthy candidate.
Victory, that's it. I need to get the... That's almost like I'm voting for, isn't it?
Well, here we are in Spitalfields, my backyard, and this is where the city meets the east. Just like most of the country has been decimated by the last 12 months. We see empty shops, and this is exactly where, in theory, I'll be meeting Brian Rose in the next sort of 10 minutes. But until that moment, just have a look at just the decimation. This used to be a thriving area, and now nothing. All the banks are sort of empty, and because the banks are empty, the shops are empty because there's no one to spend their money on. Everyone with their cushy salaries are effectively working from home. And here, it's telling. In theory, this should start to come back to life. It's interesting that both Brian Rose and Laurence Fox disagree with the lockdowns, and well, if they were in power, none of this would be happening right now. Anyway, you know my thoughts on this. If you've seen the videos on my channel, you'll know my thoughts on this. And here we go, just like earlier, another bus. This time, a much bigger bus. This is the bus of Brian Rose. Let's have a look.
Nothing is impossible. Is that true?
Yes. I have so much optimism for the future, for London. I see so much possibility in the future. I think anyone can do anything. And my daughter, Gabby, she turned 17 yesterday. And I took her out for ice cream last night. And as we walked home, I said, you can do anything you want in your life. You can be anyone you want to be. And I mean, part of the reason I run for mayor is so she can see what's possible. My boys can see what's possible. Anyone in the world can see what's possible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it, put in the hard work, and just believe.
So you're working on the campaign. Why are you supporting Brian Rose?
Yes, hi. So my name is Diána. I'm here raising the awareness of Brian Rose and his amazing campaign. You know, and it's freezing cold. The wind is so chilly. But it doesn't matter because we are still here and talking to people about Brian Rose. And the reason is, so why I'm here is because I truly believe in Brian. I really believe that he is the most capable candidate who can lead London into a new direction. And we need an independent voice with fresh ideas. And Brian knows how to kickstart the economy. Brian has the knowledge, has the history, has the background. He really knows what he is talking about. And I really believe that after he gets elected, Brian will make this city really great and amazing place again. And this is going to be a city where it's going to be nice and fun to live and work in. So that's why I'm supporting Brian Rose. Thank you so much.
That's a brilliant reason. Thank you. Julieta, why are you supporting Brian Rose?
Why am I supporting Brian Rose? I'm supporting Brian Rose because I would say one of his core values, which is freedom of speech, is something that is extremely, extremely important for me. I've never been someone, say, interested in politics. It's been too corrupt. It's just there's too much mess out there for me personally. And it wasn't until Brian announced his mayor campaign when I decided to actually, take a stand. And I realized this is our future. And I literally see my freedom being taken away day at a time, day at a time. And I know if we don't stand for what we believe in, if we don't use the voices that we have been given, then no change is going to be made. No change is going to be made. So I stand for Brian for my freedom and for the freedom of Londoners. And let's make history. I really believe that this is going to make history.
Fantastic, thank you. So it's unfortunate Brian is not on the bus today. However, he's an incredibly busy man. He's doing a couple of media gigs today, not with me. Hopefully we'll get him in a later recording. But in the meantime, I'm going to help out with the flyers and hopefully hopefully spread the word, because Sadiq Khan right now I think is something like 1 to 10 odds-on favourite to win, with Brian second favourite with the bookies around about sort of 14 or 16 to 1. It's huge spread there, but we're going to hopefully pull those odds back and hopefully wake people up. Hey, so for continuity purposes, this is 3 days later, yet I'm still wearing the same hat and jacket. And here I am on London Bridge, Tower Bridge over there. The reason I'm here is because Brian Rose launches his manifesto over there at City Hall today. So I'm strolling on over, gonna go see what he has to say, and hopefully this will be my opportunity to speak to the man, either on his bus, outside his bus, or outside City Hall, and basically saying, come on Sadiq, I'm gonna give you a bit of a run for your money. As London's teenagers cycle past me in their cycle club / gang, they're harmless really, I realised today became a sad day. The Duke of Edinburgh died, and it was a reason for campaigning not to happen, and campaigning has now been put on hold. Well, here I am waiting for Brian Rose to turn up. Actually, it's a very sad day today. Prince Philip has just passed, and he passed 2 months before his 100th birthday.
The world's most experienced pluck on there. There's a plastic bucket. Oh, this place.
Well, rest in peace, the Duke of Edinburgh. He was a great man. To be honest, he was my favourite royal after the Queen. He stood up for what he believed, and he wasn't willing to bow to political correctness, and for that I salute him. May he rest in peace.